Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gable.
And my name is Jacob Bortz, guys. Welcome to episode 112. If this is your first time listening to the Untapped Podcast, first of all, thank you for choosing us. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We've actually got 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have 14 Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. We go over our anecdotal experience with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on advice and tips to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have physical vitality episodes, and that's actually what we have today for you. In these episodes, we cover the physical side of our brand. So we cover everything to do with the gym, workouts, nutrition, diet, supplements. Sometimes we will even take trending topics or articles within the fitness industry, and we will cover and talk about those, give our thoughts and opinions. And sometimes we will also cover fitness programs like 75 Hard.
Nice, dude. Guys, isn't this great having this guy lead us in like that? It makes my job so much easier, and I feel so much more comfortable. It's sick, dude. So, guys, our third format is our breaking news format. The breaking news format is a current event-based format. That is when we break down current events and articles going on in the world. We talk about how important it is to discuss this stuff. Now, we're not here to turn it into a doom and gloom and cry festival about how hard the world is and you know how we're screwed or something like that. No, we offer solutions as how we can go about making the world better, which is an exciting thing to do as well. Now, our fourth format is the Knights Table format. The Knights Table format is a masculinity-based format. Now, keep in mind here, I'm 25, Wirtz is 25, and then when Mitchell, our producer, is with us, he's 23. So we're not coming to you at the top of the mountain here as men. The only perfect man ever to exist was Jesus Christ. We are just discussing masculinity and how important it is in bringing it back in its full form to our current world today and how that can turn the tide in a lot of ways in relation to those breaking news events and everything else for that matter
100%.
too. Now, fifth format is our guest format. The guest format is when we sit down with somebody that's an entrepreneur, fitness professional, athlete, doctor, you name it. Somebody who even might have just a great story to tell you guys. We learn a lot from those episodes. It might be a friend of ours, or it might be somebody that we've known for a short period of time and have developed a great relationship with. You guys are also going to learn a ton from those episodes when they come around. Now, usually the last thing to introduce is our producer. My brother is actually out of town. Now, because of that, we're going to hop right into the episode a little bit here. Right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
right. Yeah. Just on the, you were talking about the guest episodes there, guys. Like, go back and listen to those because there are some really, really good things. And they're all so different too, which is really cool. Dr. Wyatt Mormon was our last guest who we just had on, and he had so many new ideas brought to the episode that I didn't know. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a chiropractor. However, I am a coach, I am a trainer, and so I have to know the body, I have to know how the body works and all those things. So when you have someone there sitting in with you and bringing in those ideas, like you learn so much is my point. You don't have to be a coach or a trainer to get things out of that. But I do think if you are those things, you absolutely should go back and listen to that because just so many really, really good things to know. And then, you had a professional athlete before that with Matt Adams, and, he just had great things to say about hard work and the grind and being on a mission. Even, he's 35 or 36, and he's still fighting. He's still working towards it. And honestly, and I told him this a couple of weeks ago, I was like, dude, it's been so inspiring to watch you this offseason. Because, I worked last offseason with him as well, and I've told him to his face this. I'm like, dude, this offseason, something's different with you. Like you're more focused. You're battling through, stress or little tiny injuries like blisters and things like that, which I've got a giant one on my thumb now from hitting fungos to him today. And like those suck. When you're trying to hit with a bat, like it sucks to have blisters.
Yeah,
but
I believe it.
Last year, those things would have held him off for a day or two. This year, he's saying, screw it. And like we got work to do. So the guest episodes are really, really cool. They're fun. You learn new things. The stories are great. JT and Connor, Jordan Shatley. For those of you that are involved with S2 or First Form in any way, you definitely know that name. Just go back and listen through those ones. Jeff Lavecchio, can't forget that one. He's been on twice.
Yeah.
But just really, really good episodes there.
Yeah, we have some big ones lined up and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
we do.
We even talked to Dr. White about having him back on as like a resident health expert type
100%,
thing and
dude.
whatnot. So
that's one that he's never not going to have good things to say.
Dude. Yeah.
Any of the people we've had on for that matter. But we do have some exciting ones coming up. We don't have anything set yet, but just who we know we're going to have on coming up. It's very exciting. New perspectives, and there's a female in there as well. So we're really, really excited about that. Yeah. But anyway, guys, we are going to hop into episode 112 here. Yeah. So cool. Anytime we say the number, I mean, it's just crazy to me. Crazy to me.
I mean, the thing is, it goes up so fast. It feels like though.
It does.
It almost
literally.
feels like it's going by fast, and you almost kind of miss the Mike days when it was in between us and whatnot.
Holy cow!
And then you're like, well, this is pretty sweet still too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
With
Like
the iPad camera recording.
Yeah, sorry for those of you guys that got into us on YouTube early. Those first 20 subscribers had to deal with some hard times for Untapped, to say the least.
So it's so funny to think back to those. It just, but you know, it's our foundation. You know, like that's where we started, and we've continued on for over 2 years now. We're 112 episodes in, and you have to set that foundation. You know, that's one of the most important things about anything you're doing, and that includes exercise and fitness. You know, and that's kind of our whole idea with this episode, guys, for this physical vitality is how exercise sets you apart. You know, we've talked a lot about things like this in separate episodes and whatnot, but the number one thing is exercise is your foundation. It sets that foundation for everything that you do in your life.
Yeah.
You know, because when you really start on that fitness journey, when you first start exercising in whatever way it is, whether it's walking or going to the gym or doing jujitsu or getting back into your sport maybe, you know, in like a recreational way, but it is your foundation, because if you want to excel with that and if you want to get results, you can't if you don't have that foundation set.
It's essentially the brick and mortar to the rest of your fitness journey.
Yeah.
Essentially fitness journey,
The
and then life
literal
journey
bricks
as well.
and the literal mortar.
Literally.
Yes.
Yeah. And because we'll dive into this, we'll hit you guys with some quick hit knowledge here on this and why that is. I mean, if you think about it, fitness is one of those things that anybody can partake in
100%.
in certain ways.
Yep.
You know, again, like you could buy some cheap exercise equipment, work out at home. You could go to a gym that's local to you and whatnot. Because even like in rural areas and whatnot, they have Planet Fitnesses.
Oh, yeah.
Cities, plenty of options for
Yeah.
gyms. Counties, plenty of options for gyms. You go on walks, like you said, and whatnot too. So the big thing I wanted to sit on there is the fact that it does help you excel in everything else. And as we've talked about in past episodes, there are certain people that we've seen that just do the fitness part and that's it. So it doesn't guarantee you success.
No, definitely
That's
not.
a big thing as well. It doesn't just, raise you to the next level just because you're a fit person or something like that. It is one of those things where you become fit or you continue to excel at being fit, and then you understand life lessons from that that you can take and use.
Right.
Now, again, for us, that's taking these and then helping other people with it as well.
Yeah.
Because we've been in the strength industry for a little bit now too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, okay, cool. So that's where we can use ours and build a business in that industry. Sweet. Some people, it literally might be sitting comfortably at their desk at their work.
Literally,
And
though.
that's it.
Yeah.
To that point. Because they, or sitting comfortably in an airplane seat. Again, not getting a free one by Southwest, of course. That's a whole nother story. But
Kidding.
yeah, but sitting comfortably in an airplane seat. It might be that you were always fidgeting every time you rode in an airplane or rode in a car on a road trip or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that might be your next foundation.
Playing with your grandkids.
Playing with your grandkids.
That's
as
a
we've
big
talked
one,
about.
actually.
Yeah.
It's a big motivator for older people.
1,000%. And honestly, it sort of became that way for me now in a way.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I'm like, whenever I have children, that's a big factor for me. I
Absolutely.
want to be able to outcompete them, just because,
Teach them how to lose.
got to teach them that, dad's always going to be better. That type of thing.
Right.
But like, it's big because that you said that, teach them how to lose, because that's also what fitness does too.
Huh.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the first 2-3 years, usually of the journey, I mean, they suck.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to show up and basically assume that one, it's going to hurt really bad, and two, that you're not going to see progress for a long period of time.
Yeah. You're going to be sore. You're going to be tired. All
And
those
you're
things.
not going to take steroids.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
That's
right.
another point too.
Right.
You're not going to skip that early part of the journey and take steroids, because then that'll have longer implications
Sure.
down the road. But like you said, tired, fatigued, sore, you name it, all the whole 9 yards. You're going to go in there and you're going to get the crap beat out of you. And then, because life already does that to us as it is, that's why exercise is so important as well, because it then provides a foundation for you to take hits from life
Yeah.
and then keep going from that too.
Yeah.
Which
Absolutely.
is super cool.
Well, and you learn how to push yourself when those things get hard.
Yeah.
You also learn how to be pushed if you're working with a coach or something like that. Kind of a cool story here. This actually happened this week down at work. Primarily, we train middle school and high school with some on the opposite ends of that. So, college and pro, and then even younger than the middle school. But we have this, we have a 7th grade girl who comes in, I think, 3 times a week. And she's such a sweetheart. I mean, she works hard. She's a good kid. She's fun to talk to. And I always push her a little bit more and more each week, sometimes even each day that she's in,
Nice.
because she's a middle school girl, so she's scared to look embarrassed in front of other people,
Sure.
and is nervous about looking funny or nervous about failing.
Yeah.
And she's been with us for, it's got to be close to a year at least with us. And so I know how strong she can be. Like, she's stronger than what she thinks. And that's okay. It's my job to get that out of her, you know, because again, she doesn't know how strong she is. She doesn't know how to test herself. I have to be the one to do that, or my other coach has to be the one to do that. And so I think we were doing like plank pull through. So you're in a plank on your forearms.
Those are brutal.
There's a plate. You reach through your other arm. Those of you on video, you can see this, but you reach under your opposite arm, pull the plate through, and then you do the same thing on the other side. And you just pull it back and forth while keeping yourself steady, and it burns your core. I mean, it's a really, really good core exercise. So she was using a 10-pound plate. And I said, hey, I brought over a 25. Actually, I didn't even tell her I was doing it, which I like to do this as well.
Yeah.
I like to switch her weights without her knowing. And she always gives me the same look. It's so funny. But I take her 10-pound, I put the 25 down and said, hey, try this. This is going to be difficult, but try this. And she does a few reps, and she's struggling. And she finishes the set, and I was like, hey, let's do one more set of that, because she had finished her 3 or 4, whatever it was. But like, let's do one more set of that. I want you to prove to yourself that you can do this weight. And she like kind of gave me a little attitude, a little sass, and kind of walked off. And I was like, okay, I'll pick my battle somewhere else in this workout. Like, whatever. Well, her mom was upstairs and saw this. So, and I didn't know that, but her mom ends up coming down and pulls her aside, talks to her, and I walked away. I had a bunch of other kids in. And I could tell the conversation was not fun. And so...
Well, you know those as a kid. Oh, my gosh.
A little bit later, I walk back up to her. I'm like, did your mom get you in trouble? She goes, yeah. I was like, what happened? She's like, I have a bad attitude. And so then and this is my point of my story, so stick with me here. So then I get down and just talk to her, and I'm like, listen, I purposely push you because I know that you are stronger than what you think, and that's okay. But you can't be scared to be pushed. You can't be scared to struggle. That's the biggest thing. You cannot be scared to struggle. No one else in here is, one, they're not looking at you because they have their own workout that they're dying going through.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these older boys who are doing, 3, 4, some even 500 pounds on some lifts, they're struggling through that. And they struggled doing what you're doing right now, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe a week ago, and it's like they have gone through those things as well. Her own brother is in there with her too, and her brother is a stud athlete, honestly. There's a lot of you that would know his name, but and so I know that she feels a little bit overshadowed by that. But I told her, and the main point was like, you have to trust me. One, I'm not going to put you in a spot to hurt yourself. I will not put you in danger. If I think you can do this weight, there's a good chance you can do it. And guess what? If I'm wrong and it's too heavy, we're going to go down. I'm not going to force you into a dangerous spot, But I consistently do that. And so I explained to her why I always push her, why I always make her do more weight or another sprint or do a sprint again, because maybe I didn't think she was giving the right effort. And so sometimes she'll ask questions like, why are you always making me do more weight? And I tell her the same thing every time. Like, you are stronger than what you think. And if this one is just a little bit harder than what you were doing, that's okay, but you're still going to be able to get through it. And you're going to be able to prove to yourself that you can do that you could struggle through that and still do the whole set, In
the back of your head, you're like, well, and you don't tell her this, but it's like, well, if you want to compete with every other girl your age,
100%,
you're going to have to do this.
Yeah. And whatever the amount of time she's been with us now, it's got to be close to a year. Like, she has made huge strides. Some of our female athletes, and right now, I can't think of any non-middle school girls, because we do have some high school ones, but they're in season in basketball. But some of the softball girls in there, they're all, like 7th and 8th grade, have just made huge strides. And it's so cool to see.
Especially at that age.
100%.
Starting to pick up and whatnot. Yeah,
absolutely.
Everything. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's just, so it's really, really cool to see, because they get to learn those lessons at that age. I mean, I didn't, I'm sure you didn't, and maybe in different ways, but certainly not in the weight room. And it's pretty cool,
Well, and that's a lesson for everybody else there, though, because not everybody else is going to have a strength coach with them.
No,
You
right.
know?
Most people won't.
Most people won't.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you could have us as Untapped Training help you, but
Mhm.
if you don't, then like we originally didn't, actually, for
Sure.
that matter too.
Sure. But we had each other to push
Yes.
each other.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
that
the other
that
thing.
next level for me too, and then early on for you, 100%. Like, that we had each other for that, for
Right.
sure. Now, anybody can get another friend in with
Yeah.
them and whatnot too. That's a big thing as well.
Mhm.
So, but at the same time, there has to be an aspect of you're not around all your teammates. If you're starting like past 20 something plus or whatever,
Mhm.
you know, you're not around all your friends all the time. There has to be an aspect of you have to get up and do it.
Mhm.
There has to
You
be.
got to be able to push yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one thing that's interesting about that on that same topic is, I wanted to say, is there's this concept called intermediates in the gym.
Mhm.
This is probably, I don't know, the middle portion of percentage in the gym. There's probably 25% that come in there and they kind of dick around and whatnot. And,
Right.
you know, like the old dudes who just don't really do anything. They just kind of
Right.
show up to look at girls and
Go-
whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah,
No
like,
kidding.
I mean, real talk.
Or they
Yeah.
literally go from machine to machine every day.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I
There
guess-
was one guy at the gym I went to in Colorado, literally did 8 movements as
Yeah.
a superset.
It's like, I guess any day that ends in Y is full body day for you. But
It just so happens every day ends in Y.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whoa, it's wild. But I mean, that's a good example of somebody who's like on the easy end of things.
Sure.
And it's like they're just they didn't ever comprehend the fact of it
Right.
getting tough, and it's supposed
Right.
to get tough. Then there's the intermediates, which again, intermediates for a reason. It's probably 50% or more of the population in the gym
Mhm.
who they're going in there, they're doing the work, but they're not pushing that past that intensity level that they need to be,
yeah,
which is important.
they're consistently like a 4, 5, or maybe 6 RPE.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then
there's the group that's actually, it's probably even lower percentage than we think, probably
It
10% or less in the
Oh,
gym
yeah.
actually, and there's probably a larger percent in the intermediate.
Mhm.
Now I'm thinking about it,
right.
but because it's not 25%.
No,
That's
absolutely
for
not.
damn sure.
1 out of 4
Yeah.
in the gym, no shot.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, dude, literally had one of the patients at Health Source be like, "Oh, you guys were doing the crazy workouts and whatnot at S2."
Oh yeah, crazy.
Again, crazy,
Right.
but we were just training super hard. It
And-
was
and different.
4 of us, by the way.
Yeah, right.
On these workouts, we're still sweating,
Yes.
like we're getting worked on the field or something like that
Right.
for like 100-yard repeats or something.
Right.
We weren't. It
Right.
was just that we were training
Yeah,
scientifically based
yeah.
and how we want to.
Well,
Yeah.
and on that note too, like there was a ton of people all doing basically the same things, and we were the 4 that weren't.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. So it did look weird for sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, everybody thought it was kind of weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But then they were like, "Oh, that was sick." So like, that's literally what we were known for at the
Mhm.
S2 event, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. But again, this is
and our handsome looks, obviously.
yeah, I mean,
Secondary,
especially you. I mean, rocket
Yeah.
launcher. Yeah, they're like, "Oh man, this hot dude wore 6'2", 200 plus, ton of muscle." Oh man,
though. Yeah, we are going the right directions.
your tire's gonna pop after that one. After the pump there, dude. But real talk, like that is actually a wake up call for a lot of people, because if you're catching yourself, you're like, well, I mean, I'm not really seeing any extra results. It literally could be that extra dosage of intensity that you need.
Yeah,
You know, have the exercise that calls for it in your program be a 9 RP
yeah,
at the top of your scale, close to that 10 level,
Right.
where you're just dying.
yeah.
Assault bikes are a great tool for that. Funny enough, like
Sure.
that's one that always gets me there.
Or
personally.
just literally going heavier with your weights,
Exactly.
on dumbbell bench
Yeah.
or hex bar deadlift or
you barely
whatever
get,
it is.
You barely get the last rep, the hex bar deadlifts.
yeah,
That's RP 8, 9, 10.
exactly.
So,
and we're not saying be stupid and hurt yourself.
no.
But push yourself a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
you and I, like we're at the point where if we are going extremely heavy on lifts, like I don't care about failing and looking goofy in the gym
Exactly.
for failing a lift. I'll just go
Yeah.
down and wait, and I'm going to try it again.
Well, our form protects us from that too.
That as well.
Yeah.
That as
our
well.
execution of the movements protects us
Absolutely.
from that.
Without a doubt.
Mhm.
But we also know how to push ourselves.
Mhm.
And like it's taken work to get to that point. Because I totally get it. When you first step in the gym, or if you're in that intermediate stage, like there's still some nerves there. Like, oh, if I try to dumbbell bench 100 and I can't get them, like all these guys are going to see it and they're doing 120s over there easy.
They're all going to laugh at me.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
that type of
no,
thing.
dude,
No.
the guy doing 120s easily failed on the hundreds, last year. Now look at him. He's doing the 120s easily,
Exactly.
Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The-
Don't
everyone's-
get stuck in the intermediate category.
Yeah, 100%, dude. But like there's so much fear of embarrassment in the gym. And it's like, dude, no one's watching you. You just do you. unless you're that old man just there for girls. In that case, leave.
Yeah, don't do you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be a
exactly.
perv. Go be a perv somewhere else. Or,
Exactly.
Or go be a perv in your house or something
Go to an AARP
where one of
meeting.
us not can. What's the one with USAA?
Oh yeah. Gronk now. USAA.
Oh gosh, it's like Gronk. I mean, how much money do you need, buddy, for this?
Hey,
horrible
I'd rather
promotion
them
stint?
be in that than Pfizer.
Well, that's true.
I might be rooting for the Chiefs here in the Super Bowl coming up, but my goodness,
yeah,
come on, Kelsey.
That had to be a tough look for you. For
Absolutely.
sure, as a Chiefs fan,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
the same thing as Von Miller's a scumbag, and he was
True.
Broncos, so like same thing. Like
Yeah.
that pissed me off for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
The point is, guys, is like exercise really, because the thing is, when you get to that intensity level, it also sets you apart in the way of what we're talking about, and that people respect you more.
Yeah.
Again,
absolutely.
they notice it in S2 with us.
Yeah.
And they notice the intensity we train with. And guess what? The people that train with intensity too, every time we meet them, they're also the people doing the most in life as well. They're at that next level of training in the gym and everything else in life too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's an indicator. And again, this is another thing we wanted to talk about today is like the idea of people seeing you, that you put the work in, whether they see you in the gym or they see you in life and whatnot. One, it's obvious. Results are very obvious with that stuff and whatnot.
Yes.
The way you speak about yourself and whatnot, you're more controlled a lot of times with exercise because it helps with that mental, as we've talked about
Yeah.
before. So you naturally, and again, there's psychology studies on this, that your physical appearance gains you more respect if
Absolutely.
it's very solid.
Absolutely.
Which makes total sense, by
Yes.
the way. Makes
Yeah.
entire sense. Again, because like we can respect somebody that's also that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that we can respect the person who is an ultra marathon runner, who might be like on the skinnier in quotation side there, or the guy who's 280 and a beefcake.
Yeah.
And like his body, or what's it called, body weight might be overweight,
Yeah,
but
right.
he's really a savage.
Right.
Is what it is. So like
Right.
we can respect both those
He's moving
aspects.
700
Yeah.
pounds on a squat.
Yeah, and anybody with the right eye for it knows.
Yeah.
Exactly. 700 pounds for a squat. I mean, literally, like a guy like that, Nick. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Nick at First Form, the guy who does like 600 something
Clements?
pounds. Not Clements. He's awesome too. There's another guy named Nick. I'll show you him after the
Yeah.
pod, but great guy.
Now, the one that does not gain your respect, I mean, this is obvious. It's CrossFit. Like, obviously. Like, nice pull-ups, pal.
Yeah, sweet kipping ones.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
sure.
productive there.
You're an athlete. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
How about instead do the High Rocks games like Shad is?
Yeah. Now,
Hmm.
the handstand walks, those are cool.
Sick.
I respect it.
Yeah, for
'cause
sure.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I've tried.
Cleans, great
I
movement.
fell.
Yeah.
But guess what? I wasn't embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I gotta start with the wall handstands.
Exactly.
Same idea. there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, like even in the mental aspect, even the physical aspect, you're going to gain that respect that comes along with it, which also opens up the door to more opportunities too.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain people we can talk to because they know that we handle our shit too.
Yeah.
That we can be in that circle, so to
Right.
speak, again, or they can like respect us face to face because of the fact that we know our stuff is handled.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, we're not just saying out of pocket stuff and talking about it and whatnot, with exercise especially,
right.
because it's what we do.
I mean, another example for us is, again, we're on episode 112.
Yep.
We wouldn't be able to get guests on if we were at episode 21 and we were two fat dudes. Like, you think a big leaguer is going to come on the podcast?
Exactly.
Like, no, hey, we've been doing this for over 2 years. Like, and we've been doing it legit as well. You know, it's no longer just one mic in between two guys. But again, like, that's not the story there. But we have gained the respect of that and the legitimacy of what we're doing here, you know?
Mhm.
So it's the same idea,
Same idea.
you know?
100%.
Exact same idea.
No doubt, dude, at all.
And then not to mention as well, on top of all of this, you're going to be capable of doing things more than about 70 to 75% of the U.S. population. Because, and that's according to few different sources, that about 70 to 75% of the U.S. population is overweight and or obese.
Yep.
70 to 75. That's almost 3 out of 4 people.
And again, that doesn't even factor in the obese category of that, because that's like the 42 to 45%,
right.
give or take.
Right.
On again those sources, same thing.
Right.
Some numbers like it might be higher, which is
Right.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Some numbers like the overweight might be higher too, which is
Right.
also terrifying.
Right.
But again, like those obese people, they can't do anything.
No.
You know,
No.
that's the thing. That's why we always tell people too, you got to catch it early, because you can get to the mark where you're like, okay, you're 230 and whatnot, you're overweight, you just can't move well and whatnot,
Mhm.
and then you catch it there. You start creeping into that 300 plus range.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot harder to catch it at that point in time.
Right.
Very hard to
Especially
catch
if
it.
you're not an NFL lineman.
Yeah. But again, it's same we were talking about before the podcast. The Project Power guys, they were all three of them went and played some football at a field. And again, they're all snagging football and whatnot in the video and like go running routes. And again, I mean, somebody like Bart, I think he's in his 30s. And then the other two trainers are with him are like late 20s now.
Yeah.
So those are guys that can do things that, again, 98% of the average population sometimes, maybe even less than that, can't do.
Yeah.
Or they do it and they get hurt doing it.
Right.
That's another thing too. So like you said, it sets you apart in that realm of where most of the population cannot do those things and will not do those things.
Yeah.
So that also gains a certain amount of respect and belief in yourself
Right.
when you can do that too.
Right.
Which is huge.
Like you tell me you want to be one of the people on the airplane that can't fit into their seat.
Exactly. That has to be given a free seat
Exactly.
by Southwest. That's embarrassing, by the way.
It is.
That's embarrassing.
It is. Like how are we catering to that?
No. Because
come on.
because more we cater to it allows it.
Yeah. Well,
And
obviously.
encourage
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And honestly, now you and I are over 6'2". Airplanes aren't comfortable.
No.
So
Not
we
at
should
all.
get a free seat.
Yeah. Well, or they should just make all airplanes taller.
Exactly.
In the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
what it
hey,
leads to.
we should do a TikTok video saying that. Yeah.
We should it'd probably do well, actually. Probably be really funny.
It probably would be.
Truthfully.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
now that you say that for content.
But yeah, that stuff is just blowing my mind. And then there's the one now where the chick was saying, hotels need to be rebuilt, stronger beds
What?
and wider door frames and all this other stuff, wider hallways, wider elevators.
I didn't see that one. What?
I'm like, bitch, you're telling me you're as big as an elevator?
You can't fit in a damn elevator? Those things hold like minimum 2,000 pounds. What are we talking about?
That's the person.
I mean, you're massive.
Paper clips going into orbit.
No, that's Jabba the Hutt is what that is. That's his cousin. What in the world, dude?
like Al Weezy. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Say it again. Say the name again.
Al Weezy.
I think so.
Yeah, you definitely do. Come on, I'll pull this up while we're still talking here because you 100% know who this is.
The thing is, what's blowing my mind about this conversation now is you got me thinking. I'm like, I'm 240 pounds, and I've never had a problem with a hotel bed.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm damn near on like the end range.
You definitely know who that is.
Oh, Gorlock.
Yeah.
I know her as Gorlock, the Destroyer. Yeah. That's what they nicknamed her, dude. Gorlock the Destroyer. Like the Destroyer of Worlds.
She's how do we even explain
I'm
this?
definitely going to pop that in the edit, by the way.
Like she's the one that's always on the Red Pill podcast.
The whatever podcast.
And,
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Good.
And I think it's a dude.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't care. I hate it when I see the videos of her.
Yeah. Because literally I think the Nelson.
She's like, I'm a certified baddie, like that one.
Yeah, and
that might help you guys know who we're talking about.
He knows. She Gorlock knows that Gorlock knows that Gorlock knows that they're not attractive at all.
Yeah, 100%.
They know it.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, they have to know it.
Yeah.
There's no way Gorlock
Talk about
wakes up in
lying
the
to
mirror.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
come on now.
brutal.
But again, like, how little respect does he get because of that?
Yeah, exactly.
He's treated as a meme, essentially. That's
Yeah.
what that person is, because
Absolutely.
it looks like one of those circus people that used to come in. They'd bring in like 500-pound people into a circus back in the 1800s
And it would
or
be like
whatever.
an attraction.
Be an attraction
Yeah.
because that's how terrifying that creature is. Like that's what it is, dude. Dude, that's bad. I mean, like, if you are essentially a meme on the internet and that's like your whole profile is because of the fact that you're so massive.
Right.
Like
Not even that like you're funny or something.
Exactly.
Like Shane Gillis.
Like you're built
you know?
like Jupiter. Like
Yeah.
now because of that, you are now a meme on the internet.
Right.
Yeah, Shane Gillis is a different story. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, again, someone like him, funny, known for comedy,
Exactly.
awesome, great.
Exactly.
That's a cool thing because it brings people laughs. Known for getting made fun of because of your physical appearance is not somewhere you want to be.
Right. And
At
then
all.
pretending that you like that.
Yeah. Or even going back to like a regular population, even getting nicknames from your buddies. Like you're known as the big guy in the group.
Yeah.
You're known as the fat funny guy in the group.
Right.
You don't take like a little hurt.
The duff.
Exactly. Or the duff
Yeah.
in a female friend group.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, designated ugly fat friend.
Yeah.
Not really a good thing to be known as.
No.
At least I'd say so.
Yeah.
And not
yeah.
someone I'd want to be named as.
No.
So it's like you got to check yourself in certain realms. It's like, what do you want to be known as? Like that dude who got jacked because he worked his ass off. You know, he might have disappeared for a year or two or something like that. Came back just yacked out of his mind. Do you want to be that girl who's super fit, eats healthy, known as that, and like they make fun of you because it's like, oh, you don't drink alcohol anymore? Or do you want to be the person that's like, they're always down to go out, but their health markers are terrible right now?
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Which person? It's like
Yes.
it's like the conversation of like which way modern man, which option you picking, like which road,
Yeah.
which fork in the road you taking, you know,
Right,
like
right.
that type of thing. Like, oh, fit, super jacked on one end, or loser
Mm-hmm.
and not remembered on another end.
Right. Well, and guys, like we're not saying everyone has to walk around with a six pack.
No,
I'm not right
I don't
now.
have- I don't
You're not
either.
right
Yeah,
now.
we're both
Mitch
at
isn't.
14 right now, 4% body fat right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, we're just talking like living a realistically healthy life. Yeah. Like we talked about the 80-20. Like that 20, we're gonna enjoy. Well, I guess by the time you guys are hearing this, the Chiefs will have won the Super Bowl. But
Oh man, that'll be bad if it come. You better knock on wood.
You're right. But
I
anyway,
was gonna say if it comes out, you said that Monday,
but true. Yeah, maybe I'm in on it.
dude.
Maybe I'm in on it.
Probably you're probably in on the script.
Mm.
Yeah. Then Taylor Swift's gonna show up at halftime. You're gonna be
Hey.
with her.
I mean, I don't care about Taylor Swift, but like that'd be pretty cool.
Kind of cool.
Like
Yeah.
honestly.
He's a sick performer.
Anyway, where was I going with that? Like the 80-20. Super Bowl Sunday, like we're gonna enjoy some fun food, good food. We're gonna enjoy some beers, and that's okay. That's okay. Like it's all right.
Some fitness guys enjoying some beers.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly.
But again, do we handle every other aspect?
Yeah. And is every weekend like that? Absolutely not.
And even when we do have the beers, it's like one time a year
We have like 30.
I
meant 3.
yeah. I meant 3 too. It's usually a whole case. Oh,
It's only a handle. Oh.
usually we FaceTime each other, and while we're programming for clients, we're drunk. it's like what? No. That.
Hey, bro, I'm working on the push today. Yeah.
You like the full body day we have going on today?
I'm so sorry for those of you that only listen to the podcast. You have no like idea what our reactions
That's why you
look
should
like.
go watch this on YouTube.
Yes,
It's
yes.
comedy, dude.
It's so funny. Like we're about 30, 31 minutes in. Like go to the YouTube, go to 30 minutes, and just watch what just happened. Or right before that when we talked about Al Weezy. Like that is just
I can't believe that's his actual name.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But again, that's the third point of this. Which way?
Yeah.
Which way you going?
Right.
And like Wirt said, it doesn't mean you have to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, not at all.
Like he looks great. Dude was jacked.
And if
back in
that's
the
your
golden age.
goal, then go crush it.
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
Do it.
But if you're just trying to not be a part of that 75% of overweight / obese,
Exactly.
it's really not that difficult either.
Now, should you be a savage, especially as a dude? 100%.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
you should.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
But it doesn't take looking like Arnold to be a savage.
Exactly. It doesn't.
Exactly.
I mean, look at Chad Wright.
Yeah.
Does he look like a physically intimidating person when you first see him?
Not at all. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my life.
I mean,
Seriously.
I believe it.
Like we met him at a freaking charity event, you know?
Oh,
Oh, you're saying Chad Wright. I thought you were talking about Chad Rollins, different first form guy.
oh, him too.
Who we met at Brace
Him
for
too, though.
Impact.
He's very unassuming.
Yes,
Though. That's actually
sorry.
a more personal example.
Chad Wright. Yeah.
But
Former
like,
Navy SEAL.
because granted, Chad Wright, his hair like looks like he's a Viking, so like maybe a little bit
homeless.
intimidating or homeless.
Low-key.
One of the two. Yeah, he would totally be honest about that too.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we get to meet him, like that's 100%
Yes.
what's gonna happen. But Chad Rollins, I'll go with that example because that's more close to home for
Look
us.
this guy up on Instagram, Chad Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally like a 40-something-year-old dad with like I think a bunch of kids. I think it's like 5+.
No, I
Well,
think it
believe.
might literally be like 9.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it might
I think
be
he told me
actually.
9.
But I mean, he's like doing American Ninja Warrior stuff, all this type of stuff.
He's running
Yeah.
for the school board.
Yes.
Down in Springfield,
Missouri. Yeah.
I think it's a school board.
Yeah.
Running for something.
It's something with the school board to do it. Yeah.
And he's killing it. He gets up like every day at 4 a.m.
Yep.
and goes to a stadium and does like some kind of stadium workouts. It reminds me
Crazy.
of Lou Carella, honestly. You know, the
Yes.
Georgia
I know you're talking about, yeah.
Georgia Tech football.
Yes, Georgia
Head
Tech.
coach?
Georgia Tech or Georgia State.
Yeah, one of the two.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, Chad's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
But again, like he looks jacked,
Yeah.
but he also looks kind of unassuming.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily like think of him as like this terrifying figure when you
No,
first see him and whatnot.
not at all.
But he's a savage.
Yeah.
He's a father that has, again, like you said, if it's let's say it's 9+ kids.
I'm pretty sure it's 9.
Holy crap!
Which is
like
insane.
I mean, getting stuff done, which again like shows that there's no excuses
Sure.
for fathers at all to be like, oh I have one child now and now I'm fat.
Yeah.
Oh, so you gave up on fitness when you got married and had a child.
Yeah.
So you got worse for your wife and kids.
Yeah.
That seems like a really good thing.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
Yeah, that seems like a good way to stay married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or yeah, to still have her love you.
Right.
Like what?
Right.
And that's a thing. That even goes to that as well because you could talk about marriage in that aspect
Mm-hmm.
and how important it is to be still a killer when you're in marriage too.
Yeah.
Like how you should still be handling your stuff when you're in marriage.
You're setting an example
Yeah,
for your kids.
absolutely.
Like, don't you want to set a good one?
'Cause that's even more of what you and I are looking for.
Mhm.
We want to be that example to them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hey, my dad, he played a little bit of college baseball, a little bit of college hockey. Okay, that's. But now look what he found when he was 21, 22, 23 years old.
Right. Right.
And then he led me down this path. Now I'm a savage athlete. Now I'm killing it in business or whatever our sons and daughters chase and whatnot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
That's the example you want to set. That's where the exercise sets you apart.
Yes.
Because again, it goes back to what I said about being like the best looking dad in the block. It sets you apart.
Oh yeah.
Every other dad in the block respects you and looks up to you because of that reason.
Yeah.
Like this guy could still run circles around me, and he's 50 years old
Right.
and has 5 kids. That dude's different.
And I'm 33, just had my first, and I can't walk down the street without running out of breath.
Yeah. I've essentially called it on fitness because I'm married
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah. You kidding me?
Which, by the way, is extremely blasphemous to the Bible.
Yeah.
Like the Bible
Like-
literally calls you to take care of your temple
Right.
and men to be an example.
Right.
So
Yeah. Like at least do cardio at home.
he means an inside treadmill, everyone. Definitely where he was going with that. Yeah, definitely a home treadmill. Yeah, that's insane. That's wild. I mean, healthy marriage, you know?
Literally,
that's a
though.
good thing in marriage,
Yes,
100%.
yes.
Yeah, in the context of marriage, that's awesome. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Best part of the episode right there. Take that. You can take anything from it, ladies and gentlemen. It's that right there. I think it's a great finish
So
to the episode,
funny.
actually. We can end on
It
that note.
is.
That's a
It
beautiful
is.
end of the episode.
It is. I mean, just all in all, guys, like this is how exercise sets you apart. You know, those 3-4 main points that we just talked about there. And again, like you don't have to overcomplicate these things. Doesn't mean you have to walk around with a 6-pack. Live a healthy life. Push yourself. Learn how to push yourself. Be able to do that. And watch what happens. Look at the success that you bring to your life. Not only in the fitness part of your life, but everywhere else. It's the biggest thing, you know? And if you guys need help with that, Untapped Training is live now.
Yes.
Not
to mention, we can help you in any way possible. Like our DMs are open.
Yes.
For that reason.
Yes.
Our phones
Even
are
just a
open for those who
question.
have our numbers.
Like
and
just
whatnot.
ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Untapped Training, guys, go to our Instagram. I think that's gonna be the easiest way that you guys can find it.
Yeah.
And if you're not on Instagram or whatever, like just get a hold of us.
Yep.
Get a hold of us. We'll help you get to it. It doesn't have to go through Instagram, but it's live. We are offering one-on-one training. Really, it's 2-on-1 training because there's 2 of us here. But we offer one-on-one training on our custom Untapped app, which is sick. It's very simple to use, especially once you learn it. We are also offering a monthly subscription where we have written the first 8 weeks. It's our phase 1 that everyone goes on. You're all doing the same workouts. We have a Facebook group that everyone gets put into, so we're building that community aspect with this as well. With the monthly subscription, the phases will be anywhere from like 6 to 12 weeks, depending on what that phase is. But we write all of those, and everyone's doing the same things. And it's very similar to the training that we do for ourselves as well. So, Untapped Training is live. If you're on Instagram, there is a link in our bio that'll pull up our beacons, which is just a bunch of links to all of the easiest ways to find us.
Essentially on every social media platform.
Yeah, literally.
I think YouTube might not have a function for it, and TikTok didn't have a function for it.
YouTube's on there.
YouTube okay, good.
yeah.
So YouTube's up.
Actually, it shows our most recent YouTube video
Yes.
on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is sweet. TikTok, though, it only has a social media function, which is kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but that's a whole nother
Oh,
thing.
you're talking about the link.
the link.
Yeah,
the beacons in there. Yeah.
But it's all live, guys. It's going well. We've had great responses to it. We've had several people sign up. So keep that up. Keep that up. We are super, super excited. That's our bread and butter right there. You know, we know we're doing a good thing. We know we're going to get you results, and we're killing it.
Yeah.
You know, we're really excited about it. So, last thing, as always, guys, please share the show. Share it to your Instagram stories. Share it with your friends and family. Text it around. Talk to people about us. The more eyes and ears that we get on the podcast here, the more we can grow. The more guests we can bring you, the better guests we can bring you, the better quality we can bring you. So just continue to share the show. It's so easy. It's free. It doesn't cost a thing. And it really, really does a lot of good for us. So with all that being said, guys, that is episode 112 of the Untapped Podcast. Until next time, peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.